Hi guys, welcome to the class of Mr. Fork. My name is Lungelo Kunene, otherwise known as Mr. Fork, and today we are going to start this book, the K53 Learner License Help Guide. So, without any waste of time, we are going straight to the contents to check what we are going to be covering today. So today we'll look at the overview, the controls of the vehicle, and then look at the road signs. Under road signs, we are going to focus particularly on regulatory signs today. So today we are only going to look at regulatory signs. All right, so look at the overview, controls of the vehicle, and then regulatory signs. Under overview, we are going to look at the important things. What do I mean by important things? I mean, we are going to look at the things that you will find in your test. We are not just going to read everything. Then under regulatory signs, we will check everything. I will be explaining the the subtopics there, because regulatory signs are subdivided. You have control signs, you have command, you have prohibition signs, you have reservation signs, you have comprehensive signs, you have de-restriction signs, you have selective restriction signs, and so forth. So we will be looking at them one by one, right? So without any waste of time, we'll just go straight to the overview. Okay, firstly, they say, what is a learner's license? I am going to read that statement, the first statement there. I'm going to read it, even though it's not going to be part of your test. It's not going to be part of your test, but I will read it. So before you start your driving lessons on a public road, you need to present the instructor with your official learner's license. You can apply to be tested for a learner's license at any registered driving license testing center, English, on the appropriate application form from LL1. All right, so that's it, right? So the learner's license actually permits you to drive the vehicle, but provided that there is supervision. So you can drive a vehicle in a way that, there is no distance that is a limit. So you can drive from Cape Town to Durban, from Durban to Gauteng, all over, wherever you want to go. You can also drive on the freeway, but provided that there is someone with the same driving license code as your learner's license. I hope that is clear. But you need your learners in order for you to start with your driving lessons. Right, so the learner's license test will cover the following sections. It will cover rules of the road, road traffic signs, signals and markings, the use of controls of a vehicle. All right, this is what will be covered. These are the three things that you'll find: rules of the road, road traffic signs, signals and markings, the use of controls of a vehicle. It's divided like this. Okay, then how long is a learner's license valid for? The learner's license will be valid for a period of 24 months from the day of issue. This is now important for your test. The learner's license is valid for a period of 24 months. 24 months. The learner's license is valid for a period of 24 months. So you must not confuse the 24 months with the 12 months. There's the 12 months. The 12 months of what? The 12 months is your vehicle license. This is the vehicle license. The vehicle license is valid for a period of 12 months, while the learner's license is valid for a period of 24 months. So you must not confuse the two. You will find it on your exam. Right. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a learner's license? The minimum age requirement: motorcycles that are 125cc or less without a sidecar, it's 16 years. And then light motor vehicles, not cycles. I think it's just an error here. Light motor vehicles not more than 3,500 kgs, you must be 17. And this is your code 8. That's your code 8. And then all other vehicles, including motorcycles over 125cc. Excuse me. This is the category for code 10 and code 14. So you must be 18 years and above. From the age of 18. Okay. Now we come to the disqualifying factors for obtaining a learner's license as per legislation. Number 1, if you have been disqualified by a court of law or competent authority from driving a motor vehicle and that order is still valid. If you already hold a valid license to drive the same class of vehicle. If your license to drive has been suspended or the cancellation period has not yet expired. Addiction to the use of any drug or excessive use of intoxicating liquor. And then if you are suffering from one of the following diseases or disabilities. Number 1 being what? Uncontrollable epilepsy, sudden attacks of disabling giddiness or fainting due to hypertension. Any form of mental illness to such an extent that it is necessary to be detained, supervised and treated as a patient in terms of Mental Health Act 1973, Act number 18 of 1973, okay? Right. And then any condition causing muscular coordination problems, all right? And then uncontrolled diabetes mellitus.
Technology and innovation.
Okay, sorry. And then I was here, addiction to any any condition causing muscular coordination problems. I was distracted. Uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, defective vision in accordance with a prescribed standard that has to be certified by a registered optometrist, any other form or any other disease or physical defect which is likely to render you incapable of effectively driving and controlling a vehicle without endangering the safety of the public. You must note then that deafness is not considered a defect. Deafness is not considered a defect. Okay? What will I need when I apply? So that one I'm not going to cover. It's not part of your test, but you can definitely go through this just on your own. You can pause this video here to check it out. How will I be tested? You can pause this also and check it. Read it on your own. But I'm going to come here and then cover here the rules, the structure of your test. Your test is structured like this. 28 marks, rules of the road. The pass mark is 22. 28 marks, road signs, signals, and markings. Pass mark is 23. Controls of the vehicle, 8 marks. Pass mark is 6. All right. So this is then what is going to happen. If you happen to fail any section, here, you will fail your test. For instance, if you get 21 here, but get 28 and you get 8 here, you will fail because you failed one section. Again, if you get 28, you get 28, but you get 5 here, you will fail your test. So make sure that you either get exactly these or above. You don't get anywhere below here. You fail a section, you fail the test. It's just as simple as that. So make sure that you listen carefully. If you need to rewind my video, you rewind. If you want to pause and digest, you do that. Okay? Before I continue, please make sure that you click on that subscribe button that you see there if you have not subscribed, because I have actually noticed that more than 70% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So please click on the subscribe button. And if you are here, if you are still with me right now at this point of the video, that means you are really serious. Congratulations. Now let's get to the controls of the vehicle. Controls of the vehicle. So this illustration, you will be given labeled only the numbers. They will not tell you that this is the indicator, this is what. So that means you have to actually know these controls. This is the exterior mirror, these are the wipers, these are the exterior mirror, and so forth. Okay? So then what I will say you must focus on, look at this table. Okay? This table is important. This table is important. How so? Look, to check if it is safe to move, you use mirrors. If you refer to the illustration, your mirrors were number 1 and 3. To indicate your intention to change direction or to turn, you use indicator, which is number 5. To turn or change direction, you use steering wheel, which is number 4. To ensure that the parked vehicle remains stationary, you use parking brake, which is number 7. To select a gear, you use clutch and gear lever, which is number 6 and 8. You see? So these ones, they're actually labeling. They are labeling. The illustration is labeled, and then you get to see the function. This is for doing what? This is for doing what? Okay? So this table is important, except for when you get here, but this is just the fault. It's just a mistake on the book. Negotiating a sharp turn. You don't use accelerator, you use foot brake. But looking at these numbers, they are correct. And also, what is missing from this description is actually clutch. Clutch is missing because there is a gear lever. Remember, you cannot operate a gear lever without applying your foot on the clutch. All right. But in any case, all the numbers here are correct. Right. So now, let's jump into the regulatory signs. The regulatory signs. So under regulatory signs, we'll start on the control signs, as I have promised. Control signs. So they're saying here, these signs tell you where to stop, where to yield, in which direction to drive, and what special rules apply. Permanent control signs are red and white, sometimes with black symbols, and they come in a variety of shapes. Okay? The control signs, they tell you where to stop, where to yield, in which direction to drive, and what special rules apply. Then you must know that permanent control signs are red and white. Sometimes they come with black symbols, right? And they come in a variety of shapes. They come in different shapes. They don't have one shape like any other road signs. So now let's scroll down. Let's scroll down to see what they are saying. Look at the stop sign. Firstly, we said the primary colors is just red and white. You see the stop sign there? The stop sign, the yield sign, and then the three-way stop, the four-way stop. So let me maybe explain the difference between the stop sign and the yield sign. The stop sign, your vehicle must come to a standstill before the stop line. So your vehicle comes to a standstill. All right? And then there's a yield. The yield sign, you slow down. Yield, slow down. And then there's a three-way stop, and a four-way stop. Three-way stop, you'll find it at a T-junction. Four-way stop, you'll find it at the crossroads. And then here, it's yield for pedestrians. Give way to pedestrians. Give way to pedestrians. And then here, it's a stop and go. Stop and go, stop and go. When they say stop, you stop. When they say go, you go. Here, it's stop and yield. This one, stop and yield. If you are proceeding straight, you should stop. But if you are turning left, you should yield. To yield, meaning to slow down. Right. Then pedestrian priority. Pedestrian priority. This sign with a person, it's a pedestrian priority. That means that pedestrians, they are a priority here. You must always give way to pedestrians. Then we come to yield to oncoming traffic. Yield to oncoming traffic, you'll find it on the road with on a single lane roadway like this, which then is used by traffic going forth and coming back. The same roadway is used by both traffic going and coming. So yield to oncoming traffic kushukuthi siyancengisana. Fork. Right. And then we go down to what? We go down to no vehicles may enter this roadway. No entry, and then one-way roadway. One-way roadway. Only vehicles that are going in the direction where the arrow is pointing. Okay? Now we come to command signs. Command signs. So what we're going to do, we're going to read here. You're going to read there. We're going to read there again. The command signs are there to give instructions. There are two types of command signs. Signs that specify an action that must be taken by all drivers, and signs that specify which class of road user must use a specified section of the roadway that others may not. Two types. They tell you what to do, and they tell you what vehicle class should use this roadway. Okay? The action that you must do, or that you must take, and the vehicle class that should drive there. Right. So what I can say is that command signs, they also have a distinct colors and distinct shape from control signs. So the command signs, you'll see them with blue background and they are written in white. The shape is a circle. Okay? So the command signs are there to indicate that, the first sign there tells you that you must switch on your headlights. Switch on your headlights. The big letter T tells you that you are going to pay toll gates. There are toll gates. Then the 50, any blue background sign that has a number, it is a minimum speed. What does that mean? It means that you may not drive less than the speed indicated. You must drive at 50 and above here. Keep your speed at 50 and above. Then there is what? There is keep. So there's a difference then between keep and proceed. That is keep. So keep will be facing slightly down as if it's diagonally. It's keep. While proceed is just straight like this, it's proceed. So you must always know the difference. Keep and proceed. So keep what? Keep where the arrow is pointing. Keep qhubeka. Hlala lapho, then proceed qhubeka, okay? Here it's like proceed right. Keep left, proceed right. You must turn right ahead. So now I know there's a little confusion here with the yellow background sign saying it's command signs, but we said command signs, they have a blue background. So you must not be confused here. I think that here with the book they made a mistake here. There are some other signs here that are yellow like this. Yellow signs are normally known as temporary signs. yellow background signs are normally known as temporary sign. But this one, specifically this one, I believe it's just a mistake they made in this book. So yellow, because temporary command sign, yes, the background would be yellow, but it would have what? It would have, it would have black borders and the sign would be written in black. Then that would be a temporary command sign. But this one, with white borders and the white sign, it's a clear indication that the sign, indeed, they made a mistake there. It was supposed to be blue, okay? Right. So, but you must turn right ahead, traffic circle, the arrow, all vehicles must travel in clockwise direction, indicates the roundabout. Then we get to the signs which indicate the type of road users that must use the roadway. So the first one is a taxi. This roadway is reserved for taxis. This is for taxis, buses and minibuses. 10T, meaning that vehicles that weigh 10 tons and above. Vehicles that weigh 10 tons and above. So 10T with a truck, that means that goods vehicles that weigh 10 tons and above should use the roadway, must use the roadway, right? Then we get to this one, goods vehicles only. This section of the road is for goods vehicles. And then pedestrians only should use the roadway, pedal cycles and pedestrians. So those are the signs, those are the command signs. They go on and on and on and on. But the characteristics of command signs: blue background, written in white, shape is a circle. They tell you what you must do and what vehicle class should drive there. Right. And then we go down to prohibition signs. So after doing command signs, if you understand command signs, prohibition signs then become very easy. Prohibition, because they are then the opposite of command signs. They are the opposite of command signs. Command signs, they tell you, do this, do this, do this, do this, do that. Prohibitions: do not do this, do not do this, do not do this, do not do this, do not do that. Okay. Right. How do you see prohibition signs? They are circled with red. Circled with red. Okay. You are prohibited from doing this. You are prohibited from doing that. Right. They are the prohibition signs. I'm not going to explain much going one by one, but prohibition sign, you see, P is for parking, S is for stopping, this is for U-turn, making a U-turn, and so forth. Right. Okay. So we said they are the opposite of command signs, right? Command signs, they say do this vehicle class should drive here. Then prohibition signs, they tell you do not do this vehicle class should not do this or should not drive here. That's it. All right. Then we come to reservation signs. So then reservation signs are there to reserve lanes, roadways, parking, and then these rectangular blue and white signs tell you that a particular lane, portion of the roadway, or parking area is reserved for the use of specific class of vehicle. So the reservation signs are there to reserve the lanes, roadways, and parking. So the lane reservation, you are going to see it with these yellow dotted lines on the side. Then you look at the picture displayed, then you know that this is for buses. This is for buses, okay? Then again, you go down. When you see the yellow dotted line being like this, that means beginning lane. The lane for buses is starting. The lane for buses is starting, okay? But in any case, R is for roadway, P is for parking. R is for roadway, P is for parking. And then when you see a sign like this, when you see a sign like this, it's for authorized public transport. Authorized public transport. And then, so that means if we're saying that is a public transport, that transport or that vehicle should have a permit that authorizes them to be public transport. And then you have the bus stop, or rather a minibus stop, since, well, they have shown a minibus. This one, that is a minibus. It's a minibus, so it's a minibus stop. Then we come to a taxi. That is a taxi. Taxis. Roadway reserved for taxis because it's R. Then P we said is for parking. R is roadway. Kanjalo kanjalo. Alright. Right. Then limit prohibitions. These are still part of the prohibition signs, except for the fact that they're talking about the limit. So we talk about the speed limit, the maximum speed limit you must not exceed, the height limit, your vehicle should not be higher than 4.42 meters, the mass limit, the mass of your vehicle, should not be above 12 tons. So if you are driving a vehicle that weighs more than 12 tons, you are not allowed in this roadway. Then the width of your vehicle should not be more than 2.1. The length, and then the axle mass. The axle mass, you'll notice that the arrow is pointing at the axle, 2T. So the axle mass of your vehicle, if it's above 2 tons, you are not allowed there. And then access temporarily limited to authorized vehicles only. Access temporarily limited to authorized vehicles only. Right. And then you come to the comprehensive signs. Comprehensive signs. So the comprehensive signs, basically, it's just a sign that has a set of comprehensive rules. So hence they say comprehensive signs. Like, for instance, when you see this first sign, it tells you that you are entering a residential area. So when you're entering a residential area, what must you note? Access is permitted, but you may not drive through a residential area without stopping to break your journey. You may not exceed 30 kilometers per hour within a residential area. You must give way to all pedestrians as they have right of way. Vehicles that weigh more than 3,500 kgs or that has more than 10 seats for passengers are not allowed in a residential area, except to gain local access for purpose of loading or offloading goods. Right. And then we have dual carriage freeway begins. Dual carriage freeway. So the dual carriage freeway, it's the normal freeway that you normally would find. Let's say this is the division. Then your freeway is like this. So you basically have lanes for vehicles going in that direction. And then also this side, you also have lanes for vehicles coming back. This is your normal freeway, of which is known as the dual carriage freeway. We do have a single carriage freeway, of which is a single carriage. It's a single carriage. All right, it says. So then here, hand signals are not allowed on freeways unless or except in an emergency. Hand signals may not be used on a freeway except in an emergency. If you are in the far right lane and the driver behind you indicates the intention to overtake, move safely over to the next lane on the left and do not accelerate while being overtaken. Stopping a vehicle on a freeway is prohibited except to comply with the directions of the traffic officer or road sign. In the event of an emergency or in a designated stopping area. And then learner drivers are not allowed on freeways. Learner drivers are allowed on freeways if accompanied by a properly licensed driver. So as a learner, you are allowed on the freeway. You are allowed on the freeway. Then we come to single carriage freeway. Single carriage freeways. So Listen then. The following uses are not allowed on a freeway. Pedestrians are not allowed. Animal-drawn vehicles are not allowed. Animals, unless in a reserved parking or stopping area where they cannot stray onto roadway. Pedal cycles are not allowed. Motorcycles with 50cc or less, motor tricycles, motor quad bikes, vehicles that are 230 kgs or less that have been adapted for disabled people, electric motorcycles, tractors, unless they are busy with freeway maintenance. All of the uses that have been mentioned above, they are not allowed on freeways. Right, then we come to de-restriction signs. The de-restriction signs are basically there to cancel the restrictions. They are there to cancel the restrictions. So a red cross is an indication that a restriction or command or set of regulations no longer applies. So they just put a red cross to show that this is no longer applicable. All right. So there's nothing much to explain there. Then we come to selective restriction signs. Selective restriction signs. So basically, the selective restriction signs, it's a selection of signs that go with the primary signs that we know, that we have done. Your command, your control signs, your prohibition signs, and so forth. So these signs, they don't work alone. For instance, you won't find a board that says 6 to 9. 6 to 9, what's happening? But you will find a board that contains 6 to 9. 6 to 9 will then be what? Will then be considered as a secondary sign. Let's scroll down to see the combinations. There we go. Like for instance here, parking for 60 minutes requiring a parking fee. So the P60 min is what? The P60 min, parking for 60 minutes. There is parking that is reserved for 60 minutes. But that parking fee requires, that parking requires a parking fee. So this becomes a primary sign, and this becomes a secondary sign. You see, that's then the difference between the two. That's how then the selective restriction signs work. So, and then there we go. U-turn prohibited at night, and then you must turn right ahead between 6:30 and 9, and so forth. So this is how these signs basically work. Okay. So then we get to the traffic signals. My people know then that when we get to traffic signals, I always challenge you guys to go through this alone. Red means stop, go means green, or green means go, and then amber means caution. All right. So I challenge you to then go and visit these signs alone. All right. Thank you for joining in, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Please don't forget to subscribe there. And I'll see you tomorrow.